Yo, stop fronting and use your head.
Wake up. America is Babylon, and she will be destroyed. Revelation 18 says, come out of her, my people. You must leave now.
Imagine a nation, rich beyond imagination, overflowing with influence, power and pride. A land where the
There's nothing he can do but get out of New York. America. Hear this and be a testimony to people so that you guys will know that it's doable. You know, I left everything. And not that I had a whole lot. You know, guys, it wasn't that. Hold on. I don't know why. It wasn't that I had a whole lot. I just believed the Most High. And, you know, as he started to wake me up and show me that we needed to get out of Babylon, you know, because I was heavily into the Bible even before I left. And I was questioning a lot of things about the Bible. So I won't really go into that right now because I just wanted to talk about, you know, how I came across these individuals who were in the music industry and what was I doing in Babylon, you know, all these years. Like, what were you doing, kind of? How did you wake up and how did you end up getting out and what led you? So this is what my testimony is, and it's really about, you know, how I ended up coming out. And I'm thankful to AHAYAH. I give all glory and praise to AHAYAH. I'm so thankful for this truth. I'm so thankful that I was awakened to the truth. The Most High gave me an opportunity and I took it, you know. But I was the type of person that I was always crying out. So I knew something was wrong in Babylon. I knew it and I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what was wrong, but I knew something was wrong. So that was heavily on my spirit. From a teenager, that spirit started awakening in me when I was young. So, you know, by the time the Most High finally woke me up, and I end up, you know, starting to understand that I could leave Babylon. This is all part of my journey. And I'm just going to say this before I won't make this too long. That during the time that I was in Babylon, pursuing music, you know, I loved music. I was always singing. I was chasing my dreams. I knew in the back of my mind, something in my spirit, I knew that I was buying time. I knew I was keeping myself busy until something was going to happen. I knew it, but I didn't know it. You know, I used to think that, but I didn't know why I was thinking like that. You know, I don't know why those kind of thoughts crossed my mind, like I was buying time. I would keep myself busy, so I was, you know, just running, chasing my music career. But I would pray. When I was like 16, 17, I had got my first record deal, right? And I prayed a prayer to the Most High to protect me. I knew then, as a child, at 16, 17 years old, that I needed to be protected in this music industry. Now, by all means, none of the information that we have today was known. Like, we didn't know about people selling their soul like that, to the extent that they actually are selling their soul. We didn't know that. I didn't know that for sure, but I was praying to ask the Most High to protect me. That was my prayer when I signed my first record deal. And I remembered that, and you know, because I heard about the casting couch. You know, that's the extent of what I thought the music is, you know, on the casting couch, that people had to sleep for roles and things like that. So that I was praying on that level, like I didn't want to have to do anything like that. And I thank the Most High. I understand now that the Most High heard my prayer, and He definitely protected me the whole time. I can say that the Most High, I scathed through that music industry. The Most High was keeping me. And I had that, and the reason why I'm showing you some of the things that I did, like I sang background for Michael Jackson. I was in the midst of Puffy and, you know, these type of situations, and the Most High protected me. the whole time. And I prayed for that protection. I thank the Most High for hearing my prayers, and I had to talk about these things. So that's one of the reasons I want to talk about. This is my 40th year anniversary of me being in the music industry. You know, I'm independent artist, and I've been independent for a long time, but it's still, you know, it could have went a lot of different ways for me, and I just have to give the glory and honor to the Most High. And so that's another reason why I'm here talking about these situations and, you know, people I've met, so people can get an idea, you know, of who Kana really is. You know, those who know me in this truth, you know, get out, come out of how my people come out. That's all I do on the internet is warn people and tell them to get out, get out, get out, what the Most High tells me to say. But behind all that, I had a journey. And this is my journey, and I'm so thankful, and I'm honored to talk about it because I left Babylon. So, and I want to give other people some incentive to know that you can leave, and don't think that, oh, you need to do this, and oh, you need to do that, and oh, you need to do this. Obedience is better than sacrifice, brothers and sisters. Obedience is better. That's scripture. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Don't feel that you must stay in Babylon to do anything. Because the Most High said, come out of her, my people. And I'm just so thankful that I heard the voice, that I heard that call, and I heard him telling me to leave, and that I listened. Because I know now that it's a choice. I could have easily chose not to go. I could have easily found reasons to stay. You know, especially me chasing the music industry. You know, that alone would have made me, and I was being tested, and this is something else I'm going to talk about. I was offered $1 million for a distribution deal while I was in Babylon, right before I left, right before the Most High was waking me up. And I believe that's why he woke me up, because I was offered to take the money, right? And that was my test, and I chose not to take it. So I just want to let people know these type of things, and I'll go into that. It's a long story, and I kind of spoke about this before. I did it before as my testimony in the truth, but now I'm gonna tell it again from the perspective of being in the music industry and being an artist. That someone offered me a distribution deal for $1 million, and they were gonna sign me for my publishing and things like that, and I was gonna go on tour for my God's Promise album, and I didn't take it, and I walked away, and I walked out of Babylon. Praise AHAYAH. Let me clap it up for me. Praise AHAYAH by Yashaya, because if y'all could hear that, a lot of people aren't doing that. A lot of people aren't walking away. A lot of people stay, and you thinking that they're gonna play games in this music industry, and they're gonna outsmart these demons, you know. They think they can, you know, withstand all the wickedness. But praise AHAYAH Bahasham Yashaya, I didn't try it, and I'm thankful, you know. And you know, please, we all could have, you know, wished that we had the money, but it wasn't worth my soul. Praise AHAYAH. And there was a lot of tests, guys. I went through a lot of tests while I was in Babylon. Looking back now, you know. So I wanted to talk about when I met Teddy Riley, Dabarge, and Chico Dabarge. That's what this is about. So I won't prolong it any longer. And this will be short because it's not, you know, a lot, you know, and there's some other things that I do want to talk about as well. So how I met, I'm going to start with Teddy Riley first. Let me put them on the screen. Praise AHAYAH. Teddy Riley. Now, for those of you who don't know who Teddy Riley is, I'm going to tell you, because a lot of people may not know him, because he's been quiet these last like 10 years. I don't know what, but he's so rich, I guess. You know, he could take a break. And, you know, he worked with the best of the best, mainly Michael Jackson. Clap it up for Teddy Riley for being a protege who worked with Michael Jackson. And so he has a lot of accolades. He's behind the 90s New Jack swing era, you know. Oh, he made so much great music. And I have to say, we had my first meeting or encounter with him was me and Carmen Brown. We were in a group called Raw Stilo. In the 90s, we had, now this was after my Never Gonna Let You Go era. So I met Carmen Brown, and I'm gonna go into my whole, because it's a long story with Carmen and I, because we did a lot. Even though we didn't stay together that long as a group, we both end up splitting up and going our own ways. But, it's a interesting story, how we met, how we came together. But anyway, while we was in this girl group called Raw Stilo, we got signed to A&M Records, and then we were going to record our second single. Our first single was Cuties, and it was okay. It was on the radio, I think, and it might have touched Billboard a little bit. So it was a cute single, and it was a blessing. But then we were going to do a whole album. That was just a single, and our next single was going to be by Teddy Riley, Praise AHAYAH. So we ended up going down to Virginia. We rode down to Virginia. Hope you can hear me. We rode down to Virginia, and we went to Teddy Riley's studio, and we was recording our next single. And I think we were there for a day or two, not much long. I mean, however long it took us to record the song, and it might have been a day. I'm not even sure if we ended up spending the night, in a hotel or something. My memory is not the best, guys, so please forgive me with some of this stuff. And that's another reason why I want to do this. It kind of bringing back some of my memories, like things that happened. Because when I left America and I didn't think about nothing, y'all. I just got up out of there. So, a lot of this brings back some of the memories that, things that I went to. And so I can record it and put it down on paper, because I forgot a lot of stuff. So this is one of the things. Like, I know we went to Virginia. We were recording our single with Teddy Riley. It was called Handle Your Business, and I'm going to play it. And we went to Virginia to record the song. Now, I don't know if we actually met Teddy Riley there, because it was his studio. He had a lot of different producers under him, his proteges. One of the guys we were actually recording in the studio with was named Swag. I think that's the name of the brother. His name was Swag or Swig. And he was like a chunky guy, a big guy. And he was doing the recording of us. But I'm pretty sure we met Teddy Riley, and he was there, and it was his home. But I don't remember the whole encounter, so please forgive me for that. But I just praise AHAYAH that we got to meet Teddy Riley. We got to work with Teddy Riley. That's a big thing, because Teddy Riley. Now I wanted to read his bio. So for those, because he's got a lot of, Gen Zs or whatever it's called, new millennials, and they don't even know who Teddy Riley is, because Teddy Riley has been quiet for some time now. I was wondering what happened to him. So let me just Google him really quickly so y'all will know how big of a producer he is. He is the inventor of New Jack Swing, Praise AHAYAH. And let me see about him. His name is Edward Theodore Riley. He's an American record producer, songwriter, credited with creating the New Jack Swing and hip hop and R&B fusion genre. Okay, so that's Teddy Riley. Like, he is so huge, and he's so rich. So that's why for the last 10 years, it's like he's been under a hiatus, kind of thing. And he's just recently coming back out. I don't know why, but I had saw him on that guy's show. There's a guy who does a talk show. But let me just read some more. He's an American record producer, songwriter, credited for New Jack Swing, hip hop, R&B fusion musical artist, who utilized Teddy Riley's production and songwriting, namely Michael Jackson. He was working heavily with Michael Jackson, Bobby Brown, Heavy D and the Boys, Keith Sweat, High Five, the Jacksons, among others, helped popularize the genre with several hit singles and albums from the late 80s and 90s. He is the founder of the musical group Blackstreet. I don't know if y'all know Blackstreet, but y'all need to go on YouTube and listen to Blackstreet songs. Amazing. They was amazing. And he founded them. And he put them together, as well as the predecessor, I forgot, of Guy. Predecessor of Guy. He also put Guy together with Blackstreet, and Guy Rowley has released 4 or 3 commercial successful studio albums, respectively. He has produced 4 Billboard 100 #1 singles: I Like the Way, The Kissing Game, that was High Five, Stutter by Joe, I love Joe also, My Prerogative by Bobby Brown, he wrote My Prerogative, and he wrote No Diggity, featuring Dr. Dre and Queen Pen. And by his group Blackstreet, his other productions include 1992 singles Remember the Time by Michael Jackson. Oh, he wrote Remember the Times. Right Here, Human Nature, wow, oh, the remix with SWV. He did that. Beginning with his work on the extended play Teddy Riley, the first expansion in Asia. Wow. Riley was since worked and released in the Eastern pop market, producing the singles Call Me Baby for EXO and The Boys for Girls Generation. Also, he's been doing stuff over in China. Oh, so he's behind that whole pop, the Chinese pop market that's out now, probably. That was in 2011. Mamacita for Super Junior. I don't know these artists, but that's probably what he was doing in these last 10 years, because I know he's been on hiatus. But he's so super talented, He's a 2-time Grammy Award winner. Rowley influence on contemporary R&B production has led to further uses of samples, sound effects, rappers, segments, and well as singing. Yeah, and I believe he's behind this whole, even a lot of these big producers help with the whole Suno, putting these things together, because these are the producers. He's also created and popularized modern use of TalkBox, the vocoder, and discovering Pharrell Williams. Yeah, so he's behind Pharrell, super producer Pharrell. He started Pharrell, and he discovered Pharrell, who's also from Virginia. So that's huge. So, praise AHAYAH. That's how that's what I know of Teddy Riley. And then being in this girl group, our label, we end up going to record one of our singles called Handle Your Business in Teddy Riley's studio. He was the producer. So I'm going to play the song so that you can get to hear it, okay? And this is Carmen and I from the group Raw Stilo in the 90s. I think we got signed in 95. I got to look it up to be sure. Let me go and just to check it, because I'll be forgetting. Hold on, guys. Okay, hold on. So, okay, let me see. Okay, yep, 1995, Raw Stilo. So we was on DV8 Records. It was the single, and we were going to do an album, and we have a video and all that for Cutie. The single was called Cutie. And when I cover Raw Stilo segment, I'll play that. But I just want to play the song by Teddy Riley that was produced by Teddy Riley. So hold on a second, and let me share my screen with you. Let's see. Share screen. Okay, it's kind of long, so I may not play the whole thing. Praise AHAYAH. So that's the song, Handle Your Business. And it was written by a young lady named Stephanie Cook. I think that was her name, Stephanie Cook. It just came to me, the last name. And that was a nice song. I love that song. Love, love, love it. It was one of my favorite songs that we did. And so shout out to Stephanie. Praise AHAYAH. And all the peoples. We had our sister Egypt, who I didn't get to talk about much. She rapped on our first song, Cutie. So when I cover Straw Stealer, I'm going to go into Egypt. Shout out to Egypt too as well. And on that song, on this Handle Your Business, also Sweet Sugar T, if anybody remembers Sugar T the rapper, she also was, she did the remix on this song. But I don't know, I don't have access to that, that part of it, but it was so dope. So shout out to Teddy Riley, to Swag, to Carmen Brown, to Egypt, Sugar T, you know, all the people that was a part of that. We had management at the time, Cedric, he was our label, part of the label, A&R, that helped us put our project together. I mean, it was so many nice people that we met during that time. Praise AHAYAH, Yashaya, which ended up leading us to going down to Virginia, recording with Teddy Riley. That was huge because I just read to you all his accolades. He's a very big time producer. Got a chance to meet him, and I was so excited. So that was just one of the times that I was in his presence, because I don't even really remember, you know, us being in the studio with him actually, but I just know that we did end up, we worked with him, and, you know, we did the song with him. Praise AHAYAH. So let me move that off the screen, because I met him at another time, a couple of times after that, before I woke up to the truth. I told you guys that, now let me just stop real quickly. In that studio session, that's when we also met Dabarge. Dabarge was in the studio at Teddy Riley's house. And so I'm going to talk about him, but I just want to finish with Teddy Riley, but don't let me forget, you know, but Dabarge, but he was so quiet, but I'll get back into it. Okay, so then that's the first time, you know, I encountered like Teddy Riley, working with him. That was huge because I actually worked with him. You know, Carmen and I, you know, went to the studio, this and that. But I end up meeting him again, and this time I want to go into it. Let me just show y'all this picture, because while I have it, let me find it. Hold on. Because I end up meeting him again a couple of times while I was in California. I had moved to California. For those who know my story, you know, before I woke up to the truth, it was like the Most High. I packed up all my stuff and I moved to California. Now, it was under the guise of me pursuing my music. You know, I used to go to the Grammys. I used to try to put my music, you know, in the Grammys. So once I became a member of the Grammys, I started submitting my music, you know, and I had wrote and executive produced my God's Promise album. Me and a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, Ron Smalls, we worked together and he helped me put the project together. He executive produced it with me, and we came out with God's Promise. And you know, it was like, I don't know how many songs, maybe 14 songs. And you know, we found different producers, and Ron also is a producer, so he helped me you know, gather up the songs. He did 3 or 4 songs on the album, and I'll save that also for another time, that whole journey and that whole process, because all of this is part of my journey of how I ended up waking up to the truth, how I ended up you know, leaving Babylon. And it was like the Most High was preparing me even back then. Praise AHAYAH. You know, even back then AHAYAH was preparing me for this time. So I'm so thankful for this time that I had. So I'm going to put this on the screen. Hold on. I'm going to put this on the screen, this picture, so you can see it. Because if I don't do it, then you won't, actually see it. But in 1 second, I'm going to share my screen. And this is just a collage that I put together for the thumbnail. But y'all can see this, I'm sure. So Teddy Riley is the first guy. Young, good-looking brother. Very handsome. If y'all can see that. You might have to make that bigger. But, yeah. So that's the first one is Teddy Riley, right? Let me see if I can make that bigger. Yeah, there we go. Yes. So the first one is Teddy Riley. The second one is Dabarge. And then the last one is Chico Dabarge, right? Chico is Dabarge's younger brother. And I'll get into him, how I end up meeting him as well. So the reason why I want to make, because there's in the corner here on the top right, there's a emblem of MI. When I packed up and left and went to LA because I was pursuing my music career. And I thought, because I started, going to the Grammys and submitting my stuff, I wanted to actually be in LA. I thought, that was a better place to be, because although I was making some headway, it was really rough in New York, so I just wanted to go to LA. But I know now that it was the Holy Spirit rearing me up to go, because there was a reason why I needed to be in LA. But of course I didn't know it. I was just following the spirit that was pushing me, and I thought it was all about my music career. So I jumped up, went to LA. Now while I was in LA, I found this school. Right now, I didn't know anybody in LA. I had met this guy. Matter of fact, I met this guy. He was a gay guy, actually. We had met at one of the industry parties or production, when publishing parties. And I can't remember his name, guys, for the life of me. But we was talking, we became friends, and we started saying, oh, I want to go to LA. He was like, yeah, I want to go to LA. He told me he was leaving in January. And I was like, what? And I had been thinking about going. So he was already set to go. And I was like, what? So we, kept talking. And when in January came now, this is probably like in October, November, 2007. We met, we started talking, and, the Most High was gearing me up to go. So he was, the person that was connected with me, and I was like, wow, I want to go. Come January, I wasn't ready when he was leaving. So he ended up leaving me. He didn't wait. He had told me he was going in January, and it was like, when we spoke, it was October, November. So I had enough time, but I was still working at my job. I was, had to take a leave of absence, and all this stuff was going on with me. So, and I was trying to actually transfer my job to LA, because I had worked at this, I was working at this company, Deloitte and Touche at the time, and they had a Deloitte and Touche in LA. So, and I was already going back and forth to the Grammys, maybe my first or second year. So I knew I wanted to move to, and I was trying to transfer my job to go to the LA office. So I was, when I went to the Grammys, I would go and scout out to see if I could transfer my job and all that stuff. So when he was ready to leave come January, I wasn't ready. So he ended up leaving me. So I was like, oh my gosh, I was upset, but I still had to take care of a few things. So, and I think I probably got out, and maybe a couple of months later, I ended up going. So he was already there, but he was like the only person I knew. And we kept in touch, but I didn't know exactly like where he was, or, I know I was going to Hollywood, California. I had already done some research and stuff like that. So I was, going in that area. Baby, I had no idea. So anyway, I finally packed up. I packed up all my stuff by myself, and my friend Ron, he helped me. We had talked about it. I told him why I wanted to go and this and that. So I went, so I packed up my house. He helped me pack up, and I was set to go. I had all the music that I needed. I had the album, and I was gonna try to continue pushing the album, there. So when I got there, it was a rude awakening, guys. Oh my goodness. And I don't want to make this too much of a long story, but even this, I thought it was going to be pretty short, but there's so much intricate parts that happen, that I kind of want to touch on. So I get to LA. I don't really know anybody when I first get there now, but I didn't go by myself. There was a young girl, I think her name was Sheree, for some reason. I think her name was something like that, like this young girl I met, Sherry. And there was another guy who was my dancer who told me he wanted to go too, and I forgot his name. Wow, there's so many people, guys. And he told me, but he flaked on me at the last minute. Me and him had decided, he wanted to go to something with a C. I forgot his name. But he, and I was just pissed with him because he was so flaky. But he was my gay friend. He was one of my dancers. Because at the time, I was doing shows and stuff like that too. And I was doing some kind of play, how I met him. But we ended up being friends, So then we met, and Sheree was my dancer. She was a dancer also with me because I was doing videos, and for the music, I had the album, God's Promise, I had done. So Sherry was one of my dancers, and he was one of my dancers. Matter of fact, I got a picture of them. Let me show y'all. Let me find my picture. Okay, give me 1 second. Because I'll be forgetting stuff, guys. But please bear with me. Give me 1 second. I'm going to show you who they were. But I have a picture of my dancers. Let me find it on my blog spot. Hold on. See, I forget all these things. I should have had this stuff ready, but I'll be forgetting, guys. So sorry. This is one thing that's good about this, is because it brings back so many memories. Like, I'm starting to remember, some of these things that I put away, once I woke up to the truth. Okay, hold on. Let me share my screen so I can show you. I can show you better than I could tell you. Okay? Hold on. Okay, so we're on Teddy Riley. Let me, I can't keep that there, can I? Let me see if I can open up another screen. No, it makes you stop sharing it. Okay, so let me go here and show you this. This is one of my blog spots with all my little music. Y'all can see this stuff. Okay, these, just some pictures that I keep. I had this stuff for years. But here, I'm going to show you, this is one of the pictures of me at the Grammys when I was living in California. I had just, now by this time I was like a regular. But here, this is one of the video shoots that I was working on. Okay, and this is the girl in the front. Her name is Sheree, how she called herself. But she was one of my dancers. She ended up coming with me, if y'all can see her, where my pointer is. This Tina Thompson, the amazing Tina Thompson, amazing dancer, choreographer. She is a fitness champion. She ended up choreographing for my music video. That was Star Status. And who else? Where is he? I don't see the guy. I forgot his name, but he's back there. He's in here somewhere, the guy who I went to LA initially. I was gonna go with him, and then he backed out at the last minute. So there was end up being me and Sheree, right? So it was me and her. This is me here, guys, with the microphone, with the red hair. And this is Sheree. She was one of my dancers. So she wanted to go to LA too. We got to LA, boy, oh boy, it was like a rude awakening. Oh my goodness, guys. Let me go back. it was like a rude awakening when we got there. So first of all, we tried to find the cheapest hotel that we could find. We end up downtown LA, and anybody who knows about LA knows it is horrible downtown LA. That's the worst place. It's like Skid Row down there. So we found this hotel online, you know, and it don't tell you, you don't know anything, and if you don't know nobody, you don't know. So only contact I had was the guy that I told you, the gay guy had met, who had ended up leaving before me. So we were scarcely, you know, staying in touch. So when I initially got there, you know, I didn't call him right away. He didn't know when I was coming. So we ended up at this scavy hotel. So now we like, oh my goodness, and we started running out of money because we started being there like 2, 3, 4 weeks, almost a month. Started, you know, we had to find work and da. So she ends up, the girl, Sheree, ends up calling someone that she knew, but I couldn't come with her. Like it was some, you know how LA, if y'all know how LA is really, you know, like that. You know, everybody is like grasping for straws. There's a lot of artists, you know, who's trying to make it and da. So it was a rude awakening. I had so much stuff I had. So what happened what I end up doing is, you know, calling my family, and my sister helped me with her sister-in-law, her brother's family. Her husband's brother family had family in LA. So I end up having, you know, meeting his family, and they come and they picked me up and, you know, let me go and stay until I was able to get on my feet. But it was a rude awakening in LA, and I just had to go. But anyway, so then at that point, the reason why I want to talk about this is because I end up finding this music school. This music school is called Musicians Institute. Oh my goodness, I love this music school. I end up going there, you know, I end up finding me a job. I started working at this hotel, you know, like the Holiday Inn or one of these, you know, hotels. I got a job, and I started paying my way to go into school. Now, initially, when I saw the school, I was thinking I could go into the school and become a teacher, because, you know, I wasn't in my teens or early 20s. I was older now, you know. This was right before I ended up coming to Babylon, you know. I was in my late 20s going into 30s. So I was more, you know, very seasoned in the music industry by then. And, you know, so I figured I could go and be a music teacher, or not so much a music teacher, but a voice teacher. You know, there's a lot of things, but I didn't know, you know, I didn't know how to play an instrument. But so I got shocked when I went to this music school, because it was the bomb, and it was some very high level musicians there. So I had to be there, so I had to figure out a way. So I didn't get hired, you know, as a singing teacher or a coach. So then I went back to my house where I was staying, and I was like, I gotta start figuring out how to get back into that school. So I ended up becoming a student in the school, and I took a couple of classes. I took piano, I took music lessons, I took, you know, different things. And I loved that school. I ended up staying in there. I stayed at that school for the 3 years that I was in LA. Every year I just kept enrolling in it. Awesome school. I can't tell you enough how much I love that school. But I ended up meeting a lot of nice people in that school. And so the name of it is Musicians Institute. And there's a lot of, I want to tell you who I met. And I'm going to talk about him another time, but let me just say his name now. Breezy Lovejoy. Now, y'all may not know who Breezy Lovejoy is, but I met him at the school. But it was very vague when I met him. I just happened to meet him, and I'm going to go into it at another time. But Breezy Lovejoy is actually, what's his real name? Gosh, I forget. Let me Google it real quick. I forget. I can't believe it. Oh, Anderson .Paak. Y'all know the musician Anderson .Paak, who he did Silk Sonic with, I I'ma leave the door open. Leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, boy. Anderson .Paak, and what's the other guy's name? Bruno Mars. They did Silk Sonic. Well, Anderson .Paak, before he became Anderson .Paak, his name was Breezy Lovejoy. So I met him at the school. I had met a lot of young people who were coming up in the music industry. And how I ended up noticing Breezy Lovejoy, because everybody was talking about Breezy Lovejoy. He had a band, and and so did I. I had a band, and I was performing a lot of places. But he was from LA, and he had a huge, huge following. He was young too. This was back in 2007, 2008, y'all. And Anderson .Paak was already on the scene. So he had did the BBQs in LA. There's on Sunset Boulevard. That's a big, it's like the Blue Note in New York. It's like that. They have a lot of those little staple places that artists go perform in LA. So he was performing. This is just a quick one because I'm gonna talk about him another time. Breezy Lovejoy, aka Anderson .Paak, he was performing, and everybody was talking about it, and I was doing little shows, and I was trying to get into BBQs, and I had, that was one of the big places, so I wanted to, go there with my band. And so I went to see him, and baby, it was packed. He had packed out the place. He was so dope. I was front and center watching his show. He was playing he played the guitar, y'all. He played the piano, the keyboards, and he played the drums. But when he was in the MI, I guess he was learning the drums. He was in the drum program. But his main thing, he was playing the guitar and he was playing the keyboards. He was so amazing. He could sing, he could play both instruments. He sold out the place. He had a huge following even back then. And this guy was young. He had to have been like 18, 19 years old, 20 years old. So, and most of the people in Musician Institute were young. Had just graduated from high school. There was a few older people, but the majority of them were kids. And he was one of them. But I had met so many talented young people, and a lot of them were playing for me. And I had a band, and I had already, I had already had my CD done. I was already pushing my music, and I just was really trying to put the band together because I was trying to go on tour, and I was just using all this as a stepping stone. Okay, so I just wanted to get through all that and talk about the school, because that school just blew me away. I was like amazed. I was in love with Musicians Institute. Baby, nobody can tell me about that school. I just loved it. Still to this day, and I even aspire to doing my own Musician Institute. I would love to do that kind of school, a music school. But that's neither here nor there. But that's what was on my heart and spirit, and I didn't even want to leave that place. I mean, I was there for the whole 3 years. I kept taking classes, and and I still don't know how to play the keyboard, but that was one of the courses that I had enrolled in. But I learned how to read music. I learned all the, fundamentals, the theory of music. And so, even though I don't practice at all, and that's why I have my keyboard and stuff, but I don't really go on it. Even the guitar, I didn't get a chance to take the guitar program. I wish I had, but I took the keyboards. They had this girl group, like a trio, a cappella group. I had enrolled in that, to clean my ear for my harmonies and tune in, because my off-key notes and all that stuff. I'm very bad with that. But that's what I was trying to do, so I was taking I loved that school, guys. I loved it. Couldn't stop. And I met so many different people. So another person that I met so many. I met this awesome kick behind drummer named Ruthie. Just loved her to death. She was bad, guys. She was so awesome. And she was so bad. Like, she was again, 18, 19, they were all young. She was a drummer. She was in the drum program. Kick behind drummer, Ruthie. And she ended up playing drums for Van Hunt. Van Hunt, and I'll end up talking because we went with her to her rehearsal one time. We ended up meeting Van Hunt. But Van Hunt is actually the one who's engaged now to Halle Berry. I don't even know if he's singing anymore, but Ruthie was playing for him. So, and that's how dope she was. And y'all can go Google him and listen to his music because he's amazing. But now I don't hear about him playing, and he's all into Halle Berry. I guess they got engaged and they probably gonna get married. But so that was one. But also my friend, my dear friend who I had met, she was another young person. I'm gonna show her picture. Okay, I'm gonna show her picture. I have to find it though, because I had it all prepared, but then of course, I didn't come on last week, so please forgive me. Hold on. Let me remove that. I forgot I had that on. Okay, so now let me go and show you another young lady that I had met in the school, and we became real cool. Hold on. Let me find it first, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Give me 1 second. So yeah, Ruthie, there was a lot of them that were so talented. So talented. Ruthie was one of them. And there was these two other guys there. And I don't know, for the life of me, guys, if I don't know any better, I would swear that these two young guys were the guys from the group, the Amigos. These two guys, they was in the drum program. But now, the guys, Offset and Takeoff, I think it was them too, but I'm gonna have to find Ruthie or Patience. They'll let me know because you know me, I don't remember, but I swear it was these two guys. They looked just like them. They were from Atlanta, and they were young at this time. They were like 17, 18. They just got out of high school. Most of the kids were young, and they was only there for a year or two. So it could have been them, and I don't know, but I gotta ask somebody. But let me move on. So here I met Patience. Patience was my friend, and she was young. I'm gonna share my screen and show you guys Patience. This is Patience, okay, and she was in the singing program as well. She was a singer, model, beautiful young girl. Okay, let me make that bigger. She was modeling, right? So me and her became cool. And she was she was going for singing and modeling and dancing and stuff. Very talented. And we end up being cool. So that's how I end up meeting Teddy Riley again. I had to go all through that so y'all can understand how I ended up in LA and how I end up meeting Teddy Riley a second, third time because of Patience. Patience was in Musicians Institute. She was going for the singing, and she was rapping, and she was modeling. Very pretty. So me and her became cool. So I would start saying like I was her manager. So guys, so if anybody knows my story, y'all know that me and when I talk about waking up to the truth, I was at an after party. It was me and Patience. We started connecting with Snoop Dogg and his entourage, and this is how we end up meeting Teddy Riley, or I don't know how we end up with Snoop Dogg's entourage, but I'll talk about Snoop Dogg later. At another time, I'll talk about Snoop Dogg, but because this is Teddy Riley's thing. Teddy Riley had taken a liking to her, or something like that. Hold on, let me just make this picture bigger. Right? Teddy Riley had taken a liking to Patience, and she was going to. They kept inviting us to the studio because me and her, I was like her manager. You know what I'm saying? I was a manager, and she, so we kept getting invited to go to this session with Teddy Riley. So that's how I ended up meeting him a second time, and this time, I really was spending time with him because we would stay in the studio all night. We met up with them about 3 or 4 times. We kept going back, and it was I don't know why he was in LA. I believe he was working with Snoop Dogg, because Snoop Dogg was in the studio, and I don't know if they were working on one of his albums. Maybe Teddy Riley had did a song for him or album for him. But we kept going back and forth to the studio, because then he started trying to put together a group, I think, or something, with Patience. She was trying to sing, she was trying to get on, and she ended up meeting Teddy Riley. And so, I was going with her to the studio, but I never got the chance to tell him that I was in this girl group called Roy Stilo, and that he produced our song for us. I never got to tell him, because when we were there, every time we was with him, it was a whole bunch of people. We was in the studio, they was smoking weed, it was crowded, there was a lot of women and, a lot of guys, and Snoop Dogg was there, and he had his own, I'm gonna go into this another time, his own weed roller. So we was dying laughing about that, because the guy just sat there all night rolling weed for Snoop and his entourage. So this is how I end up meeting Teddy Riley for the second time, and then the third time, because we kept going back to the studio, meeting them, and I forget all the ins and out of what was going on, but I know Patience was talking to him on the phone, long hours, because he had really took a liking to her. And then we would go, and I would go with her back to the studio. So I never got to tell Mr. Riley that he actually did a song for me and Carmen, that I met him years ago. But so that's how I end up meeting Teddy Riley a couple of times, and each time he was just always so nice, always humble. Oh my goodness, quiet guy, like Michael Jackson type. He took on that type of persona. Very humble, soft-spoken, and nice guy. And so, I ended up waking up to the truth, and that's how I ended up leaving LA, and I ended up going straight to Israel. So, but this was part of my journey. Like, this is what I was dealing with in LA. I was putting my own band together, and I got offered $1 million for my song, for my album, God's Promise. And she wanted a publishing deal with me, but that was something separate outside of this, but I was negotiating that deal. I mean, it was so much stuff going on. I praise AHAYAH, Yashaya, but in the midst of it, I started waking up to the truth, and the Most High started telling me I needed to leave. So I ended up walking away from all of it. Who knows where it could have went. Just even me with Patience, because she was so pretty and she needed to be she was like 19 years old. This is a picture of Patience. When I went back, I tell my story that I ended up going back to see my family after being in LA for 3 years. Patience came with me because she wanted to go to New York and try for modeling. And the modeling, she was happy because she was from LA. She was from, where was she from? Bay Area. She was from the Bay. So, this was her opportunity to get to New York. She had never been there, so she ended up coming back with me. And then we ended up going to a few modeling agencies in New York, and while I was there, I think I was there for like 2 weeks, a 2-week vacation. So she ended up, going and getting her opportunity to go to New York. But then she ended up going back. I don't know if she went back before me, because I was staying with my family and, stuff like that. But she stayed for a good 2 weeks, and she hung out with me, and then we went to a few modeling agencies. She got a chance to put her stuff in. But then after that, when I came back to LA, that's when my life was starting to change. The Most High was dealing with me. I ended up, waking up to the truth, and I started knowing I had to leave, and I was all looking at Israel, and everything just went topsy-turvy. The Most High woke me up. I had to go. So everything just, I was gone. The Most High called me, and I woke up and I left. But I was in the midst of all this stuff that was going on, and I know she was continuing with Teddy Riley. So I don't know what ended up happening. I didn't stay in touch with Patience, but I hope if I ever run, hey Patience, praise AHAYAH. She was such a sweet, girl. I wish her the best. I pray, something came of her career, whatever endeavors, because I know she was into music as well as modeling, you know. So that was my story with Teddy Riley. So that's how I met Teddy Riley and the times that I was encountered with Teddy Riley. It was amazing. We was in the studio with him. He was doing some major projects. Snoop Dogg was there. I'll go into that at another time about Snoop Dogg. But it was all during my awakening while the Most High was dealing with me and calling me out of Babylon. It was really amazing. So then also during that time, so I tell you, so going back to Virginia, when I first met Teddy Riley, he did a song for Carmen and I, Handle Your Business, which I played. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Please, please, please help my channel. It does nothing but, if you help me out like that, please. Okay, so then I believe that it was El Dabarge who was in Teddy Riley's studio. He was just kind of hanging out. He was so quiet, and we were talking to him, and I believe it was El Dabarge, but don't quote me on it because he had a lot of brothers, and it could have been any of one of them. But I believe, because I know it was Teddy Riley and how big he is, El Dabarge would be sitting in his studio. I mean, it's not far-fetched. But I believe it was El Dabarge that, Now, El Dabarge, he had a lot of hit singles, y'all know. Oh, my love, waiting for you. He is, very high-pitched voice, but El Dabarge is amazing and a fantastic singer, and it was a privilege to have met him like that in the studio. But he was so humble, and he was, I think he was at, one of his low parts during his career, like a lot may have not been going on at the time. But look, he was in Teddy Riley's studio, so that's big enough, and like I've read all of Teddy Riley's accolades, so he's a major producer, Grammy nominated, Grammy received, hit maker, he created his own genre and his own lane. So I am so honored to have done a song with Mr. Teddy Riley. Praise AHAYAH Yashaya. And I recently saw him on, he's coming out and he's doing some talk shows. He's doing the circuit. He was on Sherry recently. He was on, who else? This guy, but I can't remember his name, but he's out now, and he was on this talk show. And he was talking about Michael Jackson, actually. Hold on. My mouth is a little dry and parched. So, it was all love, and it was so nice to see him again making his rounds because he's so talented. I was wondering what was going on, but as we just read in his Wikipedia, he's probably was overseas in Asia, bringing that whole Asian pop rock into fruition, So, amazing. So also, let me say, and that guy Trotman, who actually brought out that vocal singer, Teddy Riley is doing a lot of work on that too, but it was the Trotman brothers who introduced that vocoder thing, that computer love. Y'all know that? Computer love. And they sing it with the voice box. So Teddy Riley has been dealing with that and bringing that back out too as well. But it initially came from the Trotman brothers. I forgot their first names. Okay, so which brings me to Chico Dabarge. When I met Chico Dabarge, now Chico Dabarge, I gotta say, guys, he is adorable. He is so fine, as y'all can see in this picture. Amazing looking guy. So after I had saw Breezy Lovejoy, aka Anderson Paak, who was at MI, he was a student at MI. I had went to see him at BBQs. So of course with me, I wanted to do BBQs. It was, when I tell y'all, this young boy, Anderson Paak, at that age, this is before all of this stuff now with Bruno Mars, all of that, he packed out B.B. King's. He had a huge following at 19, 20 years old. He was playing guitar, playing keyboards. He was amazing, and he was playing drums. He was in the MI under the drum program. Because I went to go see him. Once I had saw him at BBQ's and how amazing he was, I was floored. I ended up wanting to do BBQs. That made me want to go do BBQs because I had already been doing little shows here and there. And, you know, I had my own band, and I was, you know, trying to promote my God's Promise CD. I had saw Breezy Lovejoy, and I wanted to do it. So I ended up booking BBQs. But I was supposed to be the opening act for Chico Dabarge. Chico was coming out with his own project. Now, you know, anybody who know about Dabarge brothers, I mean, Chico Dabarge had a little run-in with the law. He had spent some time in jail, and he had just came home. And he was promoting his album and his song. So I ended up, you know, getting BBQs, and I was opening up for Chico. So he was the main artist, and I was there, and I had my little band. But guys, I knew nothing about the whole LA scene, you know. So it was I had gotten a rude awakening. You were supposed to, you know, how they do in LA, and which is really practically everywhere, but I didn't know this yet, you know, was you not pay for play, but you had to like sell tickets. You had to sell tickets in order for you, you know, to have a crowd. So Breezy Lovejoy, you know, when I went to see him and that place was packed, I thought, wow, you know, I want to do that, not knowing that you had to really sell tickets and, you know, put the whole thing together. So just, you know, let people know that, you know, it's a whole DIY thing. Just like with the rappers selling their CDs out their trunks and really, you know, going hard, you know, going to clubs and getting to know the DJs, getting the DJs to spin your record, or you got to pay the DJs, you know, it's one or the other. Either you know somebody who knows somebody, or you have to pay to get your stuff played or get any kind of, you know, recognition. And this is one of the rude awakenings I had gotten awakened to. You know, really learning how to be a DIY artist, you know, getting yourself, you know, in certain situations so that you can promote yourself. It's all a hustle, guys, and you got to hustle hard. So you got to commend these artists, you know, who have made it, and who, like what I was saying about Kanye, like amazing what he's doing. And he's independent, y'all. This brother, even though he came up with Rockefeller and the Jay-Z, all that stuff was independent until Jay-Z actually signed and became Def Jam, you know, the president of Def Jam. Him with Dame Dash, Jay-Z, Dame Dash, and all these brothers were doing it on their own. Because if you listen to Dame Dash's story, who I also want to talk about, and I'll talk about that another time, he tells you that he was managing Jay and he couldn't get Jay signed to nobody. This is how these record labels are. They will be turning people down, no. Even you be really dope and they'll still turn you down. So they were putting this all on their own. That whole Rockefeller, you got to commend them for building this thing, and it's unfortunate, you know, they end up falling out, but that usually happens. You know, black people, we don't know how to, you know, do stuff, you know, but praise AHAYAH, they did it. And, you know, look at Jay-Z today. Even though, you know, how it's cutthroat of all the stories that you hear about him, you got to know that it's a hustle and it's one of a heck of a grind. And even Kanye, who's, I think he's even more phenomenal because he, you know, he's independent, y'all, and they're doing this stuff on a very high level. Nobody is doing it this way. Even those rock groups were always signed to these major artists, major labels. They were always getting money and backing. These brothers now, a lot of these independent artists that's doing it on a high level, like look at Pharrell as a producer, getting that, you know, deal with Louis Vuitton, and they just doing their thing, and they doing it hard, and you gotta respect it, even though as wicked as it is, this music industry, and these people are selling their soul and all kind of stuff. Oh, my audio is off. Oh no. Thank you. I don't know if this is now, if you guys can hear me, but he said the audio is off. But it probably been off, but I pray not. I see it, I see a signal, so maybe that was in the beginning. But thank you. I pray it's not off now. If not, it's just a whole time wasted, guys. Let me see. So he put the comment in it. I didn't see audio off. That was at 9. Oh, that was 2 hours ago. But yeah, that's when I first started, I think, and it was off. But hopefully, I see the signal is on. Okay, so I just really wanted to tell you. So Chico Dabarge, so I ended up opening, and I got to meet him. He was backstage, and we talked, and I didn't really know, his whole story, but I was just thankful to be there, and I was just thankful to have met him. And all of this stuff is coming back to me now. When I start thinking, because I haven't been thinking about none of this stuff, y'all, and I'm so thankful for the Most High blessing me with all these different opportunities that I have had and people that I was able to meet, and I'm just thankful. But even through all that, brothers and sisters, I just have to say I walked away. I walked away from all of it because I didn't want to. Ain't nothing worth my soul. And so I'm talking about these people, and I'm giving some of them bigs up because I know the hustle, the grind is hard, but I wasn't willing to sell my soul. Praise AHAYAH, Yashaya. I'm so thankful that the Most High ended up waking me up and calling me out. And I will go into my awakening and how, I was offered this $1 million to, for a distribution deal, and I didn't take it. And I'm so thankful of the choices that I made. I was never a money hungry person. Money never really, ruled me or gave me too much of incentives. It's nice to be rich, I'm sure, but I'm not willing to sell my soul at any level, and I thank the Most High. Praise the Yashaya. He's taking care of me, being in Jordan, not knowing anybody, just coming out and being obedient. I can say that AHAYAH, he will take care of you. He will. Just trust and believe. Trust in him. Okay, so that's my story of how I met Teddy Riley, how I met Chico Dabarge, and also meeting El Dabarge. I think it was El Dabarge, guys. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on that one. Some things are really still blurry to me because my memory is not that great. But I'm trying to remember a lot of these things. So I will see you guys next week. I don't know who I'm going to talk about next week, but I'll put up the thumbnail and you'll see. And I'm trying not to make these so long. This has already been an hour. I was thinking maybe I could do 30 minutes but I guess once I start talking and I start getting into it, there's a lot of information. So now so I eventually have to go into me being in LA because a lot of things happen in LA. Like I said, I met Snoop Dogg, so I got to talk about him, and there's a lot of people that I've had encounters with. Crazy. They may not have been all like huge encounters like Michael Jackson. I love you, Michael. But I did have my encounters, and I praise AHAYAH for these experiences, that I was able to walk away unscathed out of the music business. And I don't have no real horror stories, aside from the fact that I didn't make it. So praise AHAYAH. And I was able to just walk away unscathed. I survived Babylon. I am a daughter of Zion. That's why I sing that song. My skin is black. My body is burned. I survived Babylon. I am a daughter of Zion. Yeah, that's where that inspires me from, because I'm, going through that music industry, and I thank the Most High for protection and, love and just keeping me out of harm's way. So I give all glory, honor, and praise to AHAYAH, AHAYAH, this is just another story. And guys, oh yeah, and I have a few announcements I want to talk about. One, I thought about it. Here recently I've been doing a lot of, I always watch the Country Wayne show. And I know the guys, there's a lot of worldly stuff, but I always like to look at things from a biblical perspective. So I think that I'm going to do some Country Wayne, a biblical perspective. Because recently, I always make comments. If you watch these shows, you may see my comments sometimes. And, I try to encourage these people, but also try to keep it biblical. Because, Country Wayne always saying the J name is popping. He called on the J name. And, he's not awakened to the truth. He doesn't know the truth. But his perspective is supposed to be from a godly point of view, from a highest point of view. So they're going through all these scenarios, but it's very worldly. So I'm going to start doing a Country Wayne review from a biblical perspective. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I recently made a few comments, and, there's one of the characters, her name is Amber. Amber, I really take a liking to Amber, because she's wholesome. And even though she's, they're fornicating, they're doing all kind of stuff on the show, she is very, a naturally like a everyday American woman, black woman, doing things and calling themselves Christians. They're calling themselves Christian, but like most Christians, they don't really read the Bible. They don't really honor the law, statutes, or commandments. And that's the thing about being in Babylon. We all be claiming, and I was one of them, how godly we are, how much we love the Most High, how, saved and sanctified we are. But nothing we do is godly. Nothing we do reflects the Bible and, the information that we're supposed to be reading every day. So I definitely will start doing a Country Wayne review from a biblical perspective. So recently, one of the characters, Amber, her husband cheated on her with her best friend. It's very dramatic and it's very realistic because a lot of these people be doing this kind of stuff. So her best friend cheated on her husband and had a baby by him. Whew, child, it was drama. And during the end, Amber, she ended up forgiving. She took her husband back and she ended up forgiving Shayla, which, hey, praise AHAYAH, that shows to very high level the spirit of forgiveness. And so this is type of things I would like to talk about. What would be other people's, most of us would never do anything like that. And for her to be able to pull it off in a skit and make it believable so that people would even consider it and see the godliness in her for even attempting to forgive her husband and forgive her best friend who ended up having a baby by her husband. Wow. So now we're down the line where she's divorcing her husband. So her and her husband are separated. But in the midst of the separation, both of them are seeing other people. So that's adultery and it's fornication. So these are some of the issues that people need to discuss and really talk about from a biblical point of view. So there's a lot of people who is like, oh, it's adultery, oh, she's fornicating, he's fornicating, this and that. But according to the law, I mean, not the Most High's law, the law of the land, they're legally separated. She moved out of the house and she's living with her boyfriend. But she went to court, she filed for divorce, and even though the divorce is not granted yet, so they're living in sin actually, because they're not. But we know according to the Bible that what brings the marriage together is when two people come together and lay together. It's the sexual bond, two flesh become one, is what the marriage is really all about. The paper is just the paper. That's the law of the land binding these two people together. But from the Bible's perspective is when two people come together as one flesh. So once Amber and her husband separated and they no longer sleeping together, they filed for divorce. They are separated, legally separated. So that gives, that helps give grounds that divorce is final. Now, and the Bible says that once you get a certificate of divorce and you go and you be with somebody else, you're not supposed to be able to go back to your husband again. Now that would be a sin as well. You're not supposed to be able to go back to that person once you've laid with someone else. Okay, it becomes fornication. So these are some of the things I want to talk about because it's very interesting, and there's a lot of different scenarios from a biblical perspective that we as people have to start looking at, addressing, acknowledging our behaviors and things that we do unrighteously according to the Bible, and what's right and what's wrong. There's a lot of fornication going on. There's a lot of people doing whatever, and they don't have no qualms about it. Why? Because they took the biblical aspect out of everything. People don't even open the book anymore, and they'll try to act like, oh, they're so holy and godly, but they don't even read the word of the Most High. And which brings me to come out of her, my people, get out, get out, get out. Babylon the Great is fallen, and Jordan is the safe place. Nobody is paying that no mind. Nobody is, paying attention to what the Most High is telling us to do at this time. So I think it's important to bring out these type of things. And also, because it's my 40th anniversary, it's an anniversary. I'm really, doing my website right now. I'm trying to finish my album. I ask that people go to my website on chandrasimmons.com. Let me put it in the chat for you guys. Go to my website, buy some merch, support me. It would be amazing, guys. I appreciate it. Let me go to my website right now while we're here, so that you can check out all the cool stuff that I have. But mainly after the 40-year celebration of the wilderness, guys, I'm going to get back into the AHAYAH's Bible Book Club. And I'm so excited, guys, because we're going to be journaling, some heavy studying, praise AHAYAH. And so I want you to join me. Okay, so here, I'm going to show you now my website. Okay, and hold on. Praise AHAYAH by Yashaya, guys. Look at me. I'm looking down a lot because my camera is all the way up there, because I have no room on this desk to put the camera. So maybe I'll do something different next time, so it won't be, because I'm looking up at the camera, and it looks like I'm looking down. Okay, but I'm going to show you the website, so you guys can go and purchase some merch, pre-order my AHAYAH's Promise album. I'm almost finished. I got a couple of more songs to record, guys, and I'm working hard at it. And even now, I'm going to play, at the end, I'm going to play one of my newest releases. His name is AHAYAH. Please check it out, the video I just finished. I'm doing a new video every month for a celebration of the 40 years in the wilderness. I'm so excited about it, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's what this is all about. Hold on, I'll share the screen. That's what this is all about. Praise AHAYAH. Just being able to go and have these things in remembrance of coming out of Babylon. I'm so thankful, guys. Okay, so here we are. Let me see it. Am I sharing it? Can you see it? Oh, here we go. This is my website, chandrasimmons.com. and you see the 40 years, okay? And I just have some cups, some merch. This is the album right here. You can pre-order the album now. I'm almost done. I got a couple of songs and I'll be finished. 40 years, guys. I can't believe it. 2027, so I'm celebrating this whole year doing music, and that's what this is all about. There's cups, there's t-shirts, there's hat. This is the Highest Promise hat, as you can see. The Highest Promise t-shirt. Got various colors, guys. Here we got the Highest Promise, a Highest Bible Book Club, and these are my journals. And I'm gonna do a big advertisement for it so that you guys can see. We're gonna have a lot of fun journaling and learning, going into these scriptures, talking about the prophets and just timelines and things like that. I got a Highest Promise cups. Okay, got bookmarkers. I got the Song of Moses hats and t-shirts, books and bookmarks. So Never Gonna Let You Go, that's my 1987 single. Praise AHAYAH. So please, guys, go to my website, pick up some merch, enjoy, support the cause. 40 years in the wilderness, DYI, Chandra, Simmons, Never Gonna Let You Go. Okay, and coming soon, we're going to do the Highest Bible Book Club. We're going to go into the scriptures. If you don't know a lot about the Bible and you feel like you want to know more, this is the time and opportunity to go into these scriptures and learn. Also, my next announcement, okay, I want to bring this up. We are coming into September, is a high holy month for us. Okay, so let me come out here. Let me go here. I want to tell you, September, in a couple of weeks, we're going into September. September 1st, actually the first Sunday in September, is a holy day. It's the Feast of Trumpets. It's the blowing of the trumpets, the high holy day. It's a double Sabbath, okay? And let me get out of here. I'm going to show you. We are celebrating the whole month. We got so many holy days in September. So prepare your house, get your house ready. It's an exciting time for us. We're going to have the Feast of Tabernacles. We are in the wilderness for 8 days. We celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles. So hold on, let me show you this. I'll show you another screen. Let me get it first. Praise AHAYAH. So we're going to have a good old time, y'all. I pray you all are preparing for the Feast of Tabernacles. Let me show you. Yes. Hold on, let me show you another one. Oh no, hold on. Let me show you what I'm doing. Hopefully you guys are able to come out of Babylon, okay? Because this is what the Feast of Tabernacles actually prepare us for. Being in the wilderness again. The Most High said, come out of her, my people. We are going back into the wilderness, just like in the days of Moses, when Moses led the children of Israel with Christ, cloud by day, fire by night. That was Christ leading the path of the journey of the children of Israel. So we're going to do it again, guys. So let me just show you, share my screen with you so y'all can see. For those of you who are considering the coming out of Babylon, let me see if this, yeah, here we go. Let me see if I can make this even bigger. Okay, and I'll scroll up. The Feast of Tabernacles is actually September 13th to the 20th. It's an 8-day feast. We will be in the wilderness, okay? We do fellowship, scripture, Bible tours, desert camping. We are to camp out in the wilderness for 8 days. Really, it's 7 days, and then the next day is the 8th day. It's a holy day. It's in the Bible, it's called Qadash. If you can see that, Qadash, Feast of Tabernacles, that's in Jordan. So if you guys are knowing that you got to come out of Babylon, you can email email us at info@itoldyoutravel.com. There's the email address. Okay, and if you're considering coming out, let us know, holla, and we can start preparing. We can put something together. We could all be out in the wilderness, camping out, preparing for the holy feast of AHAYAH, like when Moses brought the children of Israel out of Babylon. We're going to do it again. Praise AHAYAH, Bahashem Yashaya. AHAYAH is going to do it again. Hold on, let me get the other flyer. So this is one. I'll keep that on the screen until I find the other one. Feast of Tabernacles, guys, September 13th to the 20th. Okay, we're going to be dwelling in tents, all the Israelites throughout the whole earth. So it depends on where you're going to be. So we're going to end up in Jordan, guys. This is where the Most High said, come out of her, my people. Jordan is the safe place. This is where the holy mountain is. So this is where you need to start putting it in your mind that you need to go. And a sister contacted me last week, and she was like, I still, I'm trying to put this land together, guys. I'm trying to get the land so that our people will have somewhere to go. And AHAYAH willing, we will have some land. But right now, we don't have some land. So we still have to put money up and this is what the whole point of trying to get land now, is so that way you ain't got to be worrying about paying for stuff. Because, a lot of our people come out and they think that, you're just going directly in the tents. And it's not the he-goat before the flock. Our people got to know that they're coming out. We are supposed to be preparing. You're supposed to be the he-goat before the flock. Not just come in here, just want to sit somewhere still and do absolutely nothing. No. We're supposed to be preparing, making a way for the gathering of people that's coming. Praise AHAYAH, Bahashem Yashaya. But our people, we so hard-headed and stiff-necked, we can't even understand why you are called at this time. You're called for a reason. You're called to come out and prepare before the flock. Praise AHAYAH, Bahashem Yashaya. But isn't that a lovely picture? It's a beautiful picture. Praise AHAYAH. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to show you. There's another one that I have. Hold on. This is the second part of it. And I think, is that it? Oh. That was the first one. Okay, this is the first one. Hold on, here we go. Feast of Tabernacles in Qadash. You see it? You can see it September 13th. This is the second flyer. But I will put it up on my YouTube page in my description box as well. So if you're interested, you can email me, for inquiries, info@itoldyoutravel.com. Come out, come out, come out, guys. This is the Feast of AHAYAH. We are going to be celebrating in the wilderness. I pray you get out and prepare your household. September 1st is the Feast of Trumpets, and then 9 days later we go into the Day of Atonement, where we fast, and then after that another weekend pass, a Sabbath. We have double Sabbaths all throughout our holy days in September. Double Sabbath. That means we have the regular Saturday Sabbath, and then the next day, Sunday, is also a Sabbath. Because how the scriptures tell us to keep it. So we keep the scriptures according to the Bible, perfectly according to the Bible. Praise AHAYAH, Bahashem Yashaya. So I pray you guys are preparing to come out of her, my people. Get out, get out, get out. You can see that email address, September 30th to the 13th, September 13th to the 20th, 2026. The Feast of Tabernacles, in Qadash. That's modern day Jordan. Biblical name is Qadash. Jordan, Petra, in that area, brothers and sisters. Don't let no one fool you and deceive you. This is where we will be. Okay, so I just wanted to, bring that out. Oh, and I want to play something for you too. Hold on. Because I thought this was so cool. Yay! Here we go. Let me see if this pops up.
Who should I tell the children of Israel sent me unto you?
I am that I am.
Let me try it again.
Who should I tell the children of Israel sent me unto you?
I am that I am.
In ancient Phoenician Hebrew, AHAYAH, AHAYAH. That's I am that I am. Exodus 3:14. I give all glory, honor, and praise to AHAYAH. Please go to the website, support, praise AHAYAH. And I'm going to play a little music before I leave. I hope you have a blessed week. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to be doing Nappy Hair Chronicles tomorrow, every Thursday at 9:30 Jordan time. I usually come on. So meet me there, fair and square. We're going to go over some news and some things that's happening. And I'll post up my thumbnail so that you can see, but mainly news, the awakening of the children of Israel, what's going on, we're going to cover the Nolan case, the Nolan Wells case, and all these things that's happening in the war and things like that. But we haven't had any sirens here, anything, there's nothing going on as far as the war. I don't know if it's a ceasefire or they're starting back up, but we'll talk about that as well. So I give all glory and praise and honor to AHAYAH, AHAYAH, Bahashem Yashaya, Wa Qadash, Rawach, Shalom, Shalom. Bless you, brothers and sisters. Stay with me. Oh, let me find this. I want to play this song. Stay with me, guys. Hold on. I'm going to play my new single that's out. His name is AHAYAH. That's what it's all about. Ancient Phoenician. The Most High, real name AHAYAH, AHAYAH. Hold on. So we're gonna I'm gonna share my screen with you. Wow, y'all. I pray you all. I see you tomorrow for those who will tune in. Let me make sure I'm in the right place. Have a blessed week as you prepare for the Shabbat. Don't forget, Feast of Tabernacle. Prepare your house for September. We got about 7 or 8 holy days, or maybe more, maybe 10 holy days in September. So prepare your house now. Start getting it ready, guys. Praise AHAYAH, and I pray that you're making your way out to Jordan. Okay.
Stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord.
Exodus 3:14. When Moses went to the mount, he asked the Most High, "What is your name?"
Who should I tell the children of
Israel send me unto you? And the Most High replied, I am
that I am.
Ashore in ancient Hebrew.
Stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord.
When Moses went to the mount, he asked the Most High, "What is your name?"
Who should I tell the children of Israel
send me unto you? And the Most High replied, I am
that I am.
Ashore in ancient Hebrew. opened up my eyes. See, I was fast asleep. He told me what's to come, but you must worship me. Keep my holy days. Keep my holy way. He said, worship me. You must worship me.
Let my people go. Break their heavy chains. Judgment will fall upon you.
He gave me understanding to his secret thing. He taught me how to have faith and trust in him. He's the only one, the only one. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. He said, if you need me, call my holy name. His name is AHAYAH. That's I am that I am. AHAYAH. I was so overwhelmed, I can hardly speak. Cause of my sin. He said his name is AHAYAH. He said my commandments. Call him. Call him. Power in the name. Power in the Son. He sent his Son, his only Son, to walk this earth, to die for our sins. He got up on that cross and shed his blood, so we may live. He'll bring us back to the Father. We can call his name. We can call. We can call him. There's power in the name of AHAYAH. Yashaya.
within me. Yes, he did. Bless his holy name and his son. He died so I can live.
Yo, stop fronting and use your head.
Wake up. America is Babylon, and she will be destroyed. Revelation 18 says, come out of her, my people. You must leave now.
Imagine a nation, rich beyond imagination, overflowing with influence, power and pride. A land where the
There's nothing you can do but get out of New York.
Wake up. America is Babylon, and she will be destroyed. Revelation 18 says, come out of her, my people. You must leave now.